Heading into the spring, the IHSA set new pitch count rules, setting mandatory rest for pitchers depending on how much they throw. But while the overwhelming majority agrees with the decision, one local coach believes more needs to be done to help prevent arm injuries.
Don't slow your motion down.
Harlem head baseball coach Scott McCloy does not go anywhere without his handy pitch count rest schedule. It tells him how many days a pitcher must rest, depending on how many pitches he throws in an outing. He says it gives him one more thing to worry about during the game.
It definitely adds a lot of strategy for coaching and trying to get kids in, especially in the Nick 10 when we play 3 days a week. You get to have a deep pitching staff to win the conference.
Huskies ace Jake Nimps agrees with the changes, saying it will only force pitchers to attack batters earlier in the count. The senior says he has never experienced any problems from throwing too much, but this should help out players in the future.
When you're in the game, you kind of don't think about it because of the adrenaline is just kicking in. But obviously after the fact, when you're throwing 120 pitches, you're going to feel it the day after, so just kind of protect everybody.
But while the IHSA moves in the right direction, travel ball may be lagging behind. With the recent rise in youth hurlers going under the knife for Tommy John surgery, McCloy believes year-round play might be to blame.
Nobody's controlling the travel teams in the summer. There's no control over that. So, as much as we're trying to do it during the high school season, which is, 2 to 3 months, there's really no control over this, the summer travel ball. I think we need to get a hold of that because sometimes those kids throw more pitches during the summer than they do during the spring.
The training and focus needed to become a U.S. Olympian is constant, but one Auburn junior believes he has what it takes to make the team, and he may have the skills and tools to get there.
With the progress we've been making, we keep getting better and better, keep winning championships. 2020 looks pretty good.
Just as he does in the ring, Angel Martinez never stops bobbing and weaving, shifting his energy to the next big obstacle. After winning a second straight national championship and with the Chicago Golden Gloves approaching, his dreams remain set on the Tokyo Olympics. His main motivating factor to get him there? Fear.
Fear of someone taking my spot, someone being better. I mean, just to keep up where I'm at. To think about like I was there, I was that good. Just want to stay up there.
The 16-year-old and his coach Jimmy Goodman have been training at Patriots Boxing Gym for the last 5 years, sometimes twice a day leading up to tournaments. Goodman says his teenage prodigy is on his way.
He just got to keep doing what he's doing. It just takes time once you get in there with the older guys and you keep maturing the mature process. As long as his strength keeps coming, his speed comes along, that just takes time. Right now he's already training top level where he needs to be. Otherwise he wouldn't be #1.
And if last week's tournament in Kansas City can help us forecast Martinez's run at Olympic glory, his dreams are already coming true.
It was a lot of anticipation leading up to it. I even dreamt about it the night before. I was like on a podium, I had a gold medal, and then waking up and realizing I had to do it, actually do it. It meant the world going out there and getting the win.
Wednesday marks a decade since the Ice Hogs' last and only championship, one many people will never forget as Rockford transitioned from the UHL to the AHL. But what went into creating a Colonial Cup winning team? I sat down with 3 members of that front office to find out how they built a contender. 5 seasons and going nowhere. The summer of 2004 would forever change the lives of Ice Hogs owners Chris Tumalevich and Craig Drektra and general manager Ryan Washatka. Rockford needed a new face.
It just didn't click. It wasn't working, and we knew for our fan base that we had to kind of turn the page. We had to get more competitive.
The Ice Hogs' next and final chapter in the United Hockey League was titled Steve Martinson. After winning 5 WCHL Taylor Cups in San Diego, the Minnetonka, Minnesota native joined a Rockford side which had never even won a playoff series.
It wasn't just about hockey. It was about entertainment. It was about something to take your family to, something for Rockford to be proud of.
And Rockford would be proud. Martinson would lead the Hogs further than they had ever gone before. But as they closed in on a possible Colonial Cup in 2007, everyone knew this would be it for their favorite players and coaches. Despite the inevitable move to the AHL, Martinson reeled his players in.
They had a lot of distractions, off-ice distractions because of things that were happening. But Steve was able to keep them focused on the target. And that shows how good a coach Steve is.
Corbet high high slot, shot, goal!
With everyone having 1 foot out of the door, with the exception of Wishotka, the Ice Hogs followed their coach to a 3-1 Game 7 victory, forever cementing their place in Rockford sports lore.
It all just kind of came down to one moment, and it was pretty cool to see the guys come together. And you know, hockey players in general are a great group of guys, and they persevered through a lot of that turmoil, and to kind of come and want to win it and carry through was pretty amazing.
The Ice Hogs win the Colonial Cup!
Tumalevich says he's proud of the fact that he helped hockey stay afloat in Rockford, adding that if not for people like Wishotka and broadcaster Mike Peck, the Hogs would not be where they are today.
They did a great job of keeping the fan base entertained and made sure that we were a force to be reckoned with, that we were going to be a contender, and sure enough, we made that work for them.
And for a fan turned owner like Drektra, May 24th will always be an emotional celebration.
They need to raise the trophy. That was one of the best nights ever for me, besides wife and kids, of course.
The opening of the Indoor Sports Center at Mercy Health Sports Core 2 marks a big milestone for soccer in the state line. And for many of its younger athletes, they see it making a big impact on the future.
They have already lived what we want to be.
14-year-old Danny Baker aspires to reach the heights of former U.S. stars Mia Hamm, Christine Lilly, and Tisha Venturini. And with the addition of the new Indoor Sports Center, he believes it can take Rockford to a new level as well.
Saying that we can get people like this to come here and help everyone, I think is going to help young people a lot and get Rockford on the map, I guess.
In addition to all of the outdoor fields at Mercy Health Sports Core 2, ISC provides even more space for a variety of sports inside. For former Harlem star and current UW Milwaukee defender Michaela Schmelzer, she says she would have benefited greatly from a facility like this when she was younger.
Rockford has just changed completely from soccer because there's so many kids that come here to play tournaments and practice from in Chicago. Just everything they're adding here is amazing, and if I could have this when I was younger, it'd just make a whole difference.
Schmelzer helped out with the World Cup Trio's Team First Soccer Academy. Lily had trained at ISC years ago while on the national team and could not believe her eyes when walking into the expansion.
We grew up playing on fields that you were lucky if there was grass on them half the time, and in school gyms. So that to have this facility for these young kids to play in and to compete in and bring people from outside of Illinois and Rockford area is pretty incredible.
And for Hamm and Venturini, they say it will be a monumental asset for the state line.
It's spectacular. You know, this community is very fortunate to have an amazing facility like this.
We didn't have anything like this when we grew up. We were playing in our garage or on the softball diamond, so there's going to be a ton of kids that benefit from this facility. I mean, millions, so it's really great to see.
Becoming a Ninja Warrior takes a lot of strength and energy. I found that out the hard way when flying and flipping with a few of the state line's youngest ninjas in training at the Gymnastic Academy's newest attraction.
Run, run.
There's definitely no shortage of liveliness at the Gymnastics Academy's new Ninja Warrior Training Center.
Yeah, there you go.
And for kids like Yassine, Safa, and Logan, the class is teaching them all sorts of stuff.
You get to learn how to do backflips, do smoke bombs, do front flips, and learn how to climb good.
I want to be a ninja so I can do a ninja roll and I can be strong.
I get to do all these crazy and awesome stunts that can be pretty dangerous.
When met with the challenge of competing with me on the course, some of the kids may be a little too confident.
I would do dabbing at you and kind of choke you.
And what? And
choke you.
I would throw bombs. And I would be faster than you.
For these parts, I would be very stealth and quick. On that part, I can't really get that part yet, but still I can get the door like a mastermind.
But how hard could it actually be?
You probably could get through it. I'd probably say you have a little bit of trouble with the warp wall, the high-end warp walls.